this central person.
पेट्रोल कमीशन 7 लोगों का बनेगा ना इस हिसाब से, एक चेयरमैन होंगे, 4 सूबे होंगे।
पूछ लें ये सही है?
According to ECP, there was no, the other members of the commission were not appointed. That's part of the impugned order.
Is it correct?
Nobody is responding.
In accordance with this constitution.
ये कोई रिस्पॉन्ड करना चाहेगा? ये फैक्चुअल क्वेरी है. Don't argue the case. Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan says that there was no commission constituted by the political parties. Is this factually correct?
No, incorrect.
So where is the document showing? No, where is the commission's constitution?
So that's why I was saying for a while, because they are now presenting it without proper notice to us. But we have satisfied the High Court. And one more thing which I want to say.
No, Khan Sahab, we will say, because when a factual statement is made by counsel, the way I like to proceed is, I want to narrow the controversy. If that factually is correct, I will take it as correct. So I always call upon the other side sometimes, is this factually correct? They say yes, no. So then the question will arise, where is the proof of it? So if either you accept his statement or you don't accept his statement, you can certainly, you filed, we certainly will consider that.
Sir, but one thing which I wanted to request, prior to coming on the facts of the case, the question of maintainability, make my submissions on maintainability, locus standi of election.
No, but if we talk about maintainability, then you'll have to argue first.
Yes. On the question of maintainability.
Yeah, but then because you said you wanted some time to prepare yourself, so we are just getting the facts because you may not have time enough. So we're just trying to save time. So we're just going through the case to understand it. And yes, you can say ready with it.
Argue now because
you never said so. That's why you said you will argue tomorrow. So that's why we said okay.
That's about the facts right now. The relevant thing is whether they have to show how do they have the locus standi to file this petition. Election Commission is a quasi-judicial body.
Correct.
Two judgments of this honorable.
No, let me just correct you here. Election Commission is not just a quasi-judicial, it's a constitutional body.
Constitutional
It has,
body.
from my understanding,
Right.
it has two functions.
Right, sir.
One, regulating the affairs of political parties, and which is the ongoing exercise, and the other is elections. So probably we are at the moment in the first political party.
Right.
I would imagine, unless I'm wrong.
I'm trying to submit here is that it is a body which has a power to make quasi-judicial decisions. It's a quasi-judicial body when the matter of dispute between.
Their decisions are orders. They can be
This
absolutely.
honorable court has very recently held in 2 cases that such bodies have no locus standi to come before the Supreme Court in defense of their own orders. So kindly consider those 2 judgments. In the light of those judgments, they have no locus standi to be here.
देखिए ये तो फिर भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी है. एक सेकेंड. Even the collector appeals comes to the High Court, comes to the Supreme Court when he is arguing his own order, effectively speaking. So ये तो constitutional body है. तो just देखिए then there will be another issue. Then another question of maintainability will arise. If you are questioning their maintainability, then the question of your maintainability will arise. How can you approach a High Court? फिर वो क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा.
Naturally, any adverse order I have right to challenge.
No. Which forum? The High Supreme Court. अभी पहला हमने केस सुना ना, क्या नाम है, APML. वो कानून में लिखा है to come to the Supreme Court.
डायरेक्ट अपील है वो. डायरेक्ट अपील है.
तो फिर वो question of maintainability is abided by, undecided by a law of a competent forum. So all they are doing is ensuring whether, even if it's an illegal order, let's not get bogged down, just give up, then the orders will be rendered meaningless.
Then a party, affected party, which brought the matter before the Election Commission has the locus standi to file, but not the Election Commission.
Affected party can, for whatever reason, The election commission may act on its own. Election commission may act on the information of a person. But now that they've passed an order, they're not entitled to defend their own order and surrender.
That's what I'm submitting. Just like the
On what
example.
basis?
Kindly see the case of a district judge. He passes an order. That order is challenged before the High Court. High Court sets that aside. Can the district judge come before the Supreme Court that in defense of his own order? No, it's a judicial body. Judicial body cannot
there
come
is a slight
before the
difference, not a slight difference, a major constitutional difference would arise. The district judge falls under the hierarchy of courts to be supervised and controlled by the High Court under Article, I don't know, what is it, Makhdoom?
Whatever it is. I'm just giving.
Now this is a separate body. You cannot apply that argument. It's a separate body. I've given you the example of Collector of Customs. Every day they are filing before us. Collector of Customs appeals. His own order is come and it's been turned upside down. But we hear him. Nobody's ever raised an objection that they can't be heard.
There are two cases recently in which this Honorable Court has held.
बताएं कौन से? Which are those two cases?
Yes, those two cases. The recent one is 2023.
PLD?
PLD 2023, Supreme Court, page 516.
And the other one?
And the other judgment, where the ombudsman has.
Other judgment, yes.
The other judgment is PLD 2020.
2020. Supreme Court.
Supreme Court 586.
What was the facts of the first case?
They have held.
The first case, bataiye, let's go to 516. What is the ratio in that case?
Yes, they held the order which was passed by Commissioner and was challenged subsequently before the High Court, before the Appellate Forum and High Court.
Which commissioner? The Commissioner, Election Commission?
Yes, not the Election Commission. In that case, it was Competition Commission.
Gee.
But there is a clear judgment.
Okay. So how is it? No, let's finish with one judgment at a time. How is this judgment applicable to a constitutional body?
Sir, kindly see para 23, page 535. Why I'm putting this before this Honorable Court?
Please.
The whole exercise, maybe,
Let's read it. To be honest, I've not read right.
Page 23.
Gee.
It may also be petitioner to mention here that KNN's food which may have been aggrieved of the decision of the tribunal on the point of non-applicability the provisions of section 10(2)(a) of the Act has been impugned the decision of the tribunal by preferring an appeal to this court, and it is the Commission that has challenged the decision of the tribunal on that point by filing the appeal. In this regard, we may observe, though the role of the Commission under the Act is primarily of a regulatory body, it is a quasi-judicial, as well as some provision, as well under the same provisions of the Act. The provisions of clauses A and D of section 10(2) of the Act, in our view, envisages the quasi-judicial role of the Commission while declaring upon the divergent claims and allegations of two competing undertakings. And as held by this court in Bahaki Motasif's case, an adjudicatory body deciding a matter in the exercise of a quasi-judicial powers between two rival parties under a law cannot be treated as an aggrieved person if its decision or modified by higher court under the law or by a court of
Are you equating a quasi-judicial body with a constitutional body?
Sir, statutory body.
Are you? I don't know what your answer is. So first say yes, no, then we proceed.
Distinction between a statutory and a constitutional body. They are all under the law, under the fundamental law.
No, not at all. A constitutional body functions under the Constitution.
Yes.
A statutory body is a sub-constitutional body functioning under a statute. So are you equating the two?
Sir, rules, the certain principles are equally applicable to statutory as well as the constitutional body. If the principle is that a body is vested with quasi-judicial powers, it exercises a quasi-judicial power, passes an order between the parties.
I would call it a constitutional power. The Constitution grants, we don't make this Constitution, we only interpret the Constitution. And I don't want to read words into the Constitution either. The Constitution, in its wisdom, the Constitution makers created a separate constitutional body.
Yes.
Now, you may well be right, and I may agree with you 100% that a statutory body which determines a matter should not file an appeal. However, it will raise the questions how a collector of customs, etc., are filing appeals. But that matter is not before us, so we will not dilate on it. Can you show us a decision where a constitutional body, preferably the Election Commission of Pakistan, the same principle has been enunciated by this court?
Sir, actually, the principle is enunciated here as well as in another case of 2020, where ombudsman.
Ombudsman is also a statutory body.
Sir, what they are relying upon is the statute and provisions of the statute. Sir, for all intents and purposes, they are acting under the Election Act, and that is a statute.
Ansab, this will amount to virtually finishing off a constitutional body.
Sir,
one thing is you are now on a very technical, hyper-technical argument, for which you have no precedent. I'm just thinking aloud, applied to statutory bodies. Here we're dealing with a constitutional body. A constitutional body is altogether different from a statutory body. If a constitutional body feels aggrieved, either you let the constitutional body do its work. Probably they will argue that why is the High Court interfering in the work of a constitutional body? Unless it's something blatantly unconstitutional, I don't know. Whether the forum would be the High Court or the Supreme Court, I don't know. I'm just raising the questions as they come to my mind. But please don't equate a statutory body with a constitutional body. I will not do so.
Sir, the two bodies.
So मैं आपको हामिद खान एक आया था, मैं आपको बताता हूँ. I was sitting with former Chief Justice Jawad Khwaja. The matter came for holding of local government elections. The Supreme Court had passed a number of orders extending the dates, and some, let's say, valid reasons were given for extending the dates. And I leaned over to Jawad Khwaja Sahab, and he was about to do so, and I told him, I will write a dissent. He says, why? I said, that's a constitutional body. How will I direct it to do so? It's their job. And he said, oh, you got a point. And we did not. We said, this is their job. Do your job. We can call upon you to do your job, but we cannot take on the functions of the constitutional body. There's a very clear line of demarcation. So if they're not doing their job, or they're doing their job unconstitutionally or contrary to the law, yes. But if they're doing their job, we won't take over their job, how to do it, how better to do it. I don't know. Because then every judge will start running a constitutional body.
The whole controversies arising after that statute, which they are relying upon with the Election Act. So in this case, while exercising powers under the statute, it is a statutory body for all intents and purposes.
चलिए हमने आपका objection note कर लिया. ये बताइए, do you have an exact case on the point of the Election Commission of Pakistan? Because yes, we will consider these submissions, but if you have an actual case, it will further clarify the matter.
The two cases are recent.
वो हमने देख लिया. One is ombudsman, which is set up under some federal law. The other is the case of the Competition Commission, which has also been set up under statute. But you can reserve it. You don't have to respond. So you can continue bolstering your argument when we give you an opportunity. We've heard your original objection. It is not something which immediately appeals to me.
Okay.
I mean, but Having said that, I'm open to persuasion. So is that fair enough?
Yes.
So shall we let Mr. Makhdoom Ali? And wherever the fact or his interpretation is wrong, please let us know that this is factually wrong. So let's make some progress.
After completion of arguments, he still reserve the right to take this objection.
By all means. By all means. I mean, yes, it's a very valid, you have every right to take an objection. Ji.
My lord, if your lordship
No,
permits.
but coming back to one factual statement which he made, he said there was no, what is it called?
Federal
Election Commission.
There was no
as-
appointment of Federal Election Commission
Is this-
according to your own constitution.
Is this correct or not correct?
We did it according to our constitution as well.
Court appeal as well as writ juris, and then you had filed something here which you withdrew as well. So it's not something coming surprise. So this is very basic. Their thing is either, I don't know what their plea is, that the elections were not held or not held in accordance with your own constitution. So far, that's what I've understood.
That's
Now, surely you know their case. It's not that this is very surprise to me for the first time. So you can meet it. If you want to file some concise statement, we allow you to do that as well. If it's not already on these pages of documents, you can file a concise statement, or if you want, we can summon the record of the Election Commission of Pakistan, which may not even require you to file the concise statement, because whatever is there will be there. Do you have any objection to that? We can summon their actual original file,
You
whatever.
must have filed all documents to the ECP along with your certificates, which is the requirement of law that you submit the certificate along with all prerequisites and requirement which you have fulfilled for holding inter-party
Yes.
election.
Yes.
So वो चीजें रिकॉर्ड पे होनी चाहिए ना, then how will you see that?
हम मंगवा लेंगे. I think we will send for it. Continue, Mr. Makhdoom.
My lord.
जी.
My lord, may I, with your lordship's leave, briefly draw your lordship's attention to page 31 of paper book, part 1. Page 31. To come back to the point.
Page
31.
जी.
That is the copy of their petition.
Their petition in the High Court. Your lordship will see.
This is the only petition on which the short order
This
has been
is the Peshawar High Court petition
No, no.
against the judgment on which we have come before your lordship.
Okay.
There is, the official respondent is only one, Election Commission of Pakistan. Page 31, Election Commission of Pakistan. The other 4 respondents are the members of PTI. So neither the Federation nor any other body has been impleaded as a respondent. If the Election Commission of Pakistan can be sued in the Peshawar High Court, but has no right to appeal a judgment of the Peshawar High Court, that means that whatever has happened in their case is final.
Why did they array these individuals as part?
My lord, because they were the members in complaining that the elections were not held fairly and were not held in accordance with the constitution of the party.
They had filed a complaint with you.
With the election commission, yes, my lord.
12-15 petition. But I think
There were 14 complaints before the election commission.
When? 14 complaints.
My lord, yes.
But here there are only. Sorry, there are. Okay, I thought there's only. So there, can you? These names are what? Raja Tahir Nawaz, Akbar S. Ahmed.
Yes.
These are members of PTI or they are
Yes, my
some
lord.
other people?
Yes, my lord. They are members-
Troublemakers.
They are members
other
of
parties.
PTI. So
No, are they other party people or are they PTI people?
they are PTI people according to us.
Okay.
My lord.
My lord, I represent respondent number 10, Akbar Babar, just in case.
Akbar Babar,
The respondent number,
respondent number 10.
Ji,
Okay.
I filed my,
Were they before the? They were before the High Court.
I had filed a complaint.
three. Respond number 3 था.
Wrongly claimed they being members.
My complaint is appealed.
Sorry, एक second. Khan Sahab, can you just speak in the mic there? Your mic there or mic here?
Yes, sir. What I'm submitting, they claim, the election commission is saying that these other respondents are the members of the party. They are not. That's
Okay, चलिए. इनका कहना है कि they're not members. Can we show us their complaint? Any one complaint?
One of the complainants before your lordship, he was respondent number
चलिए
3 in the
दिखाएं
High
वो
Court.
अकबर एस अहमद की दिखा दें.
Ji, 230, at page 230, part 1 of this paper book.
230. जी
This was a complaint, my lord. And the context on the next page, if I may